Appreciate your time.
Follow up on that too. So, talk about change, and I referenced last Friday night the conversations and the many I've had since then. But I'm leaving out part of the story. So, and Ivory's a good example that I spoke with him last Thursday night, a week ago, yesterday, right? Okay, so 8 days ago that night. And it was after we had a Zoom meeting as a team, and then I spoke with him. It's probably the most I've heard him talk in his entire career, cumulative. All right, that evening, very well thought out points. He'd been thoughtful, thinking about him a couple of days. And so my point is that, really the discussions really began in earnest a week ago Monday, in light of all the national events that were coming to surface. And that really sparked some good, candid conversation with our players and staff Monday night, Tuesday morning. But it's not quite the same as being in person. And I think that's the impact of this past Monday. And just one other quick reference. So the tweeting came up, and that's probably a really good illustration for this whole thing. And, what it kind of boils down to, first of all, it's no big deal, right? Our players can Instagram. I've been educated. I couldn't do either one of them, but I've been educated. They're the same thing. So it was a stupid policy from that standpoint, but it was designed intent to help protect our players, all right? That's a parental instinct, coach's instinct. You want to protect your players, but, certain things just tell you, they show you that, you need to embody players to have more freedom, more movement, more expression. And really the issue is, do you trust them, all right? So, and the pandemic's a great example. One thing I knew a couple of weeks ago, whenever we got back in the building, the thing we could control the best is the environment in the building in terms of a safety, standpoint. The medical experts telling us how to do things, how to proceed, following through all those kinds of things. And my thought a month ago was the most dangerous part is going to be when they walk out of the building every day. What's going to happen? What are the possibilities? That's really the reality of life every day. So, one thing that's come across to me loud and clear. We trust these players. All right, this is an outstanding group, and we've got a group of new players, young players, first-year players, joining us on Monday. That's another tier, and we've got a lot of education to do. But especially after this week, we've got a team that deserves to be trusted and deserves a little bit more latitude. And the Twitter one's a dumb one anyway, because it's the same thing as Instagram. But it's an illustration, and I'll take it a step further. I think our program goals, our foundations, our pillars in 1999 were stable, they were solid, and they continue to be a big part of our program. As all of you know, we've gone through phases. We've had times where, things trended down, whether it's off the field, on the field, etc. And we've given great attention. But I'll go back to the point I made earlier. Walked off that field the last game in December feeling pretty good, not only about our performance, but more so about the group of guys we had. And I continue to. And I felt good when we left here on March 13th. But, in some ways it's good all this has happened because the awareness has been heightened, probably for all Americans, as was just referenced, especially a couple weeks ago. And, you have to look at things through a new lens. And that's been part of this process. And, we've talked, we've listened, we'll continue to do that. There's been good dialogue. But the bottom line is action. The bottom line is what are we going to do to move forward? And that's our commitment. And my commitment's always been to be what's best for our program, what's best for our players, with want to do it in a respectful and honorable way to all of our former players and all the people that follow our program. All right, but it starts with the guys in the room, and that's where that's most important.
Kirk, how difficult has this been for you personally? To have these accusations thrown by people you love and love you, and to hear that and hear over and over and over again?
Quite frankly, I haven't paid much attention to accusations. I really haven't. But people that have concerns, and people that I've got a lot of respect for when they have concerns, when they try to tell me that there are things I can do better, that's important and powerful to me. It's really important and powerful. Accusations or any reports, I haven't looked at anything I think I've looked at one article. I'll make sure I'm fully honest, since last Saturday, okay? But what I'm concerned about is what we can do to fix things, what we can do to have a better experience for our players.
We just asked Kayvon about the statement he put out on Twitter and the reaction it got.
Yep.
I'm not saying that most fans feel this way, but many have made it clear in public forums that if the players kneel before, during the national anthem, whatever, they're done with them. If the players tell you, and I know you don't like dealing in hypotheticals.
Sure.
I don't blame you.
Yep.
But if it came to that where the players said...
It's not a hypothetical, it's going to happen. Yeah, so go ahead.
Okay, well, if the players say we want this to happen and you go along with it, what do you tell the public?
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. The thing I'm confident of is it's got to be a topic we discuss. It's not timely right now, but it's got to be a topic we discuss. I think we all realize it's a very polarizing issue right now, and I'm very confident there are ways to do things, ways to recognize individuals, movements, whatever it may be, causes, in a way that hopefully is not polarizing, but yet powerful. That would be my goal. And I know when I walk in that room with those 21 leadership group members, I know we're walking in with reasonable people, and we'll have good communication. But I think the end goal, and Kayvon said that, we'll be together. We're going to be together. That's my number one requisite for everything we do.
So, Kirk, do you believe that whatever you guys decide with the national anthem, that the team will be unified by that?
That's my goal. Yep, that's my goal.
Kirk, with the Monday meeting that you said was very emotional,
Yep.
very powerful, was there a moment there where you thought, gosh, this thing could just go
Absolutely.
sideways? And how did you get it back together?
So I'll share one quick story with you. So 2001, okay, we had a punt blocked at the end of the, I think it was right at the end of the half against Michigan, right? Had a chance to beat them. They weren't ready to go. We were. Had a chance to beat them. So we lost a tough game. I can't remember how many points, but it was a less than one score game. So we're sitting at, just so happens my mentor is there for the game. We're sitting at the counter on in my kitchen, whatever, a couple hours later. And he finally looked at me and says, have you thought about what you're going to say tomorrow? Well, no, I haven't really, not yet. And his message was, he started thinking, he says, because you could lose these guys tomorrow. So thanks, right? But he was exactly right. And but I'll go back to what I said earlier. There's responsibility when you coach, and everything we do is consequential. Everything we do, everything we say, act, etc., is consequential. So whether it was 2001 at that particular moment or right now, this is a very critical time for us. It's a critical time for our country right now. Anybody that's got a team or an organization, whatever. So if everybody's not looking through a little different lens and given clear thought, then that's an issue. I'm not worried about the rest of the country. I can't help there, but I'm worried about this building, people in here. What can we do to help? Again, I'm really pleased. So many outside former players want to help, and we picked 11 guys. I mean, it could have been 111. I'm so appreciative. But it's all going to be about our follow through. That's what it's going to be about. How can we improve? And one of the critical areas that's come up here is, again, why can a player who's on our team right now not feel comfortable in saying something to me, or find a vehicle to say something to me? And to that end, a couple of things came up from the task force report last year that I heard. All right, we allowed them to wear hats, earrings, all that stuff. But what I've learned here is there's a lot more to it, and that's what we've got to dig deeper, listen better, and then act on things that count, act on things that are important to our players. And they've earned our trust, and they know they've got to keep it. That's their job, Twitter, whatever. But we got great kids. I'm sorry? I would answer by saying this. That's what I was trying to reference. What we needed to do in 1999, or pick a couple other times after the 2012 season. That was more geared football-wise, right, or whatever. But every year is different. Every year is different. Every team's different. Where's the program at? And we're not trying to transform a 1-10 team right into a good team, a team that can play winning football. Because that is our ultimate goal. It's one of the three things we're trying to do. So we're trying to do that. But this ain't the '99 team. With all due respect, we had great guys on that team too, right? But we're trying to get somewhere. And that 1-10 season was a year of progress. That helped us get to the Big Ten championship in 2002. All right, a lot of people trying to help us build this thing. So, it's all about assessing where we're at right now, and where can we give more leeway, more trust. Listen to things that I really don't understand Twitter. I understand it's popular, but that was stupid. That was stupid on my part. So the other things would be a little tougher, a little bit more, but I think we've already made good steps. Starting this week, but we're not done, and we won't be done in December.
One final question
Yep.
to wrap it up.
You mentioned parental instincts, kind
Yeah.
of the rationale for that. The word family is so intertwined with football. Part of the journey of being a parent or a child is
Sure.
learning to evolve with all that. Certainly your father and your mother.
Yep.
When does that evolution been like over the last week?
It's I'm sure it's been challenging for our children, my wife, but when you get into professions that are public and visible, we went through a 2-18 start, right? So, that was challenging too. And it's kind of, our family understands that. Fortunately now they're all in their 30s, or I guess one's not, but they're old enough. They've been around. They understand that. But it's still hurtful. It's still hurtful. And but you deal with that. And the important thing really is, what can we do to make things better? And also the other important thing is, if there have been missteps, nothing's been intentional. I feel very proud of the things we've done over 21 years and the accomplishments we've had. And the goal is to be 100%. You're probably never going to get there, but that's the intention. That's got to be our goal. So, that's the world I operate in, and that's the lens I've got. But there's always room to improve. There's always room to expand, and that's one thing that's happened here these certainly the last couple of weeks. I think we've gotten a better window to what we can fix now. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Les.
You said you had 11 guys that you pick out. Do you know can you share with us which 11 guys you get?
We'll get that out as soon as we can. What we've done, they've all agreed, and what we've done is try to give them a little sense of direction for next week. And then we've also asked them, is it okay to share publicly? Because I don't want to make that assumption. But, I think some of them have already come in. I'm sure they're all going to, be happy to be honored that way. But I just can't say enough about. And, I'll just leave it there. I don't want to give up anybody. But, the guys want to help. Everybody wants to help. We all have the same idea.
Are all those 11 former players, Coach? Are all those 11 guys former players?
I'm going to think before I speak, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Going back, not just the last 20 years. We've got a mix in there, and I think that's important. It was really hard to figure out, what the mix is, and there's been a lot going on besides that too. So, yeah.
Thank you.
He came to Iowa City. He wants to help. Is that maybe the message everyone takes away from this? A guy who kind of saw it and now wants to help.
Absolutely. And most of my conversations have been by phone. Some have been in face-to-face, 6 feet apart, but face-to-face. And I so appreciate, and I think that speaks volumes, quite frankly. I did meet with 4 of our former players earlier in the week, and what they said was meaningful, it was powerful, and it came from their heart, and it was genuine, and it was encouraging. So, it does mean a lot. And 3 of those 4 came back. They traveled back to Iowa City. And some of the ones that didn't, were not happy about things going on, particularly over at Kinnick. That hurts all of us. It just hurts all of us. Yep, absolutely.
All right.
Okay, thank you for being here.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone. Appreciate